I'm Corbett Wall with DVAuction, here with your feeder flash for Tuesday, December the 3rd, brought to you in part by Kansas Regenerative Medical Center. Kansas RMC's focus is on arthritis and orthopedic issues with your joints, your back, and your neck. 60% of their patients are farmers and ranchers. For more information, go to kansasrmc.com. Also, Beaver County Stockyards in Beaver, Oklahoma, one of the biggest runs that they've ever had. They're looking at about 6,000 head of feeders on Tuesday. Have 4,000 calves. Most of them, be weighing between 400 and 600 pounds. About 70% of them weaned, and at least 90% of them having at least one round of shots there. Lots and lots of strings of weaned calves with shots, guys, and a lot of them being over 100 head in size on the calf strings. A lot of really good local calves in there, guys. Just string after string after string of them all day long there here on Tuesday at Beaver County Stockyards in Beaver, Oklahoma. They'll have about 2,000 head of yearlings, about 1,500 steers, be at least 20 loads of them. Be mostly 8 and 9 weight steers there. They will have a few grazing yearlings. Not a lot of feeder heifers, only 3 straight loads of feeder heifers, and then the rest of them will just be packages of feeder heifers. But we are going to have a special cow sale on Wednesday. I'm going to be there both Tuesday and Wednesday, primarily to help sell the cow sale on Wednesday, but probably be helping sell some on Tuesday, and then of course being around there for both fundraisers for Josh 9 there. But on Wednesday, they're going to sell weigh-up cows in the morning, starting at 7 o'clock in the morning. The feeder sale today on Tuesday starts at 8 o'clock, but the weigh-up sale will start at 7 o'clock Wednesday morning, and then at noon we will start the cow sale, special cow sale. They've got 14 black Angus bulls. They've got 5 Charolais breeding bulls and 1 red Angus bull there to sell. About 200 fancy bred heifers. Be 4 deals that make them up, and they can be really, really nice. And then about 1,000 bred cows. Probably close to 200 5 years old and younger. And then most of the rest of them are going to be between 5 years and short and solid mouth. But a lot of good, honest cows there, guys. And then if they don't get done with the weigh-ups, then I guess we'll finish up the weigh-ups. Be some older bred cows and things in that too. But I want you guys to know that both Tuesday and Wednesday we will be having live and silent auctions for Josh 9. And I tell you what, if you know a fighter young man, more power to you, because I probably don't. He's just a really good guy there. Got a young family. He's a young cattleman. He works his ass off. He hustles up cattle, works out back. He's got a cattle truck. He's hauling cattle. He's just working all the time. And I know it would probably kill him to know that we're talking about him this way and trying to raise this money, but this goddamn cancer is trying to kill him too. It's moved from his colon into his liver. It's going to take some serious fighting to get that stopped, but he's young and healthy, and we think we can get it stopped. They're getting ready to start chemo really soon, and so we're trying to raise as much money as we can. Jeff Slatton says our goal is to raise $100,000 for Josh here this week at Beaver County Stockyards, and it'll happen, guys. It'll absolutely happen. They've got some really cool silent auction items that have been donated. Get on to Beaver County Stockyards Facebook page and check those out. I mean, some really, really cool stuff. Some neat signage there. Some little cast iron trophy things there. Some really neat stuff, and you guys need to get on there. You can also, we're going to be having those rollover sales and selling the live auction items both days at noon. straight up noon. So if you want to get on and bid over DVAuction and donate that away, that's fine. If you just want to send a check to the sale barn, it'll get put in the same pile. They've already had several checks come in, and we're just going to raise as much money as we can, and we're going to do everything we can to help him beat this cancer. So I tell you what, it's one thing when you got somebody that's washed up that everybody wants to save. This guy's young, he's healthy, he's been stricken by this, he can beat it. We've got to help him fight it a little bit, guys. So let's do that, and please put him in your prayers. Add him to your prayer list at your local church. If you do that, we appreciate it. We believe in that kind of stuff. Reality versus the futures. And futures decided that it was time to turn south and went down hard, especially feeder cattle on Monday. But they forgot to tell all these turnout guys that are wanting to buy stockers to turn cattle out because the cheap gains on this winter forage are getting away. Here we are. We've had a pretty fair open winter here in the mid part of the country. We've got this hell of a stand on this winter forage, and the cheap gains are getting away. So I mean, they've got straight get 'em orders, and maybe some of these Chicago traders should try to fill some of these stocker orders if they think it's kind of weakening a little bit, and they think there's some room for it to go down, $2 plus on your spot feeder cattle futures, because there's just no room for any weakness right now with numbers as tight as they are and demand as good as it is. So it's not going to happen right now, and now we're seeing them fall behind. Your live cattle contracts for December. We're in December, people, and they were down, not big, but down 45 cents on Monday, closing at 187.52. Well, the latest 5-area weighted average on live steers was 189.97. So falling behind $2.50 as we are into December, guys. They need to get a little closer there. Feeder cattle are now falling off $4.50 from your real-time index, which the real-time index that I talk about all the time here, that's put together by Cattle Market Central with DVAuction. It hit 261.37 Monday night after your big Monday sales. That's as high as we've ever had your RTI. And that's based on an 800-pound cash auction steer up through your middle 12 states. Now your CME cash feeder cattle index is going to jump way over 260 the next time it comes out. I'm sure that your feeder cattle futures will respond to that and come crawling back. But there's nothing that pisses a cash operator off more than a futures market that doesn't want to behave like it should, when you're looking at fundamentals. And they don't pay a lot of attention to fundamentals at all. They're all looking at technicals or the squiggly lines on the charts. And the reason that they like to look at the technicals more is because the technicals they happen more often. They come true more often. Well, if everybody's looking at the technicals and they all respond to the different lines the same way, hell yeah, it's going to move in the right direction. If you're all looking at head and shoulders and you're all reacting to it the same way, yeah, it's all going to work. But we got to stick somewhere with the fundamentals, because we have got extremely tight supplies of stocker cattle right now. We've seen a lot of your stocker buyers trying to get out of the way of each other, trying to move off of your 4 and 5 weights, even 6 weights, and moving up to 7 weight cattle to turn out. We saw at Oklahoma National Stockyards in Oklahoma City, their feeder steers were 2 to 3 higher, but 7 and 8 weights were $5 to $10 higher, because you had 2 different kind of buyers beating on them. You had some guys that are wanting to put them right into the feedlot, looking at the April board, and then you've got guys that are wanting to turn them out on wheat at the same time. Whenever you get multiple different kind of buyers bidding on the same kind of cattle, is going to make them shoot up like that. But let's look at your disappointing board to start the week out on Monday. December live cattle futures were down 45 cents at 187.52. February was down 70 at 187.92. Your back months were mixed, from down 75 cents to up as much as just 15 cents. Feeder cattle for January down 262 with your cash markets going up like this. Unbelievable at 256.85. March was down 307 at 255.55, and then your back months were all down from 202 to 265. Wouldn't be surprised to see them turn back around here early this week. But your grains, March corn down 1/2 cent a bushel at 4.33. January beans down 4 1/4 cent a bushel at 9.85 1/4. And hard red winter wheat for March down 1/4 cent a bushel at 5.40 1/2. Talk about your fat cattle trade for last week on your weighted averages, brought to you by Legacy Beef Cooperative, guys. You can join that cooperative, own a piece of Cattleman's Heritage beef being constructed there near Council Bluffs, Iowa. How about your weighted average last week on your 5-area feeding region based on 65,500 head of negotiated cash sales? That's not bad for the way we are right now. That compares to 50,800 the previous week, 57,900 the same week a year ago. Your live sales of fat steers and heifers in your 5-area negotiated cash brought from 186 to 192. That was $3 to $4 higher. Weighted average on live steers 189.97, up 358 from the previous week's weighted average. Dress sales ranged from 294 to 306. That was straight up $6 higher than last week, with the weighted average on dress steers at 296.64. That was up $5.08 with a disappointing board on a Monday. Whenever your weighted averages were up 358 on live sales and 508 on dress sales. Do these people, do they know what this stuff ties to? As a whole, your Southern Plains market was $2 to $4 higher, from 188 to 190. Northern Plains market was $2 to $5 higher, from 190 to 192, and $4 to $5 higher dressed, from 294 to 305. Now, nationwide, we sold 79,800 negotiated last week, which is a pretty good pull, nearly 80,000. Would love to see it be 100, but that compares to 67,300 the previous week, 71,500 the same week a year ago. Of that 79,800, about 24,600, or about 31% of those, were for the 2 to 4 week delivery. So they're starting to buy more of those out front, which they're going to use those to kind of fill their orders as we're moving closer to these holiday interruptions, and they'll try to work the market back as they get up closer to them with some out front purchases there. But negotiated grid sales last week totaled 51,300. Forward contracts written 29,900 head, and formula sales 231,300 head last week. Of the 4 out of 5 areas that we get information from in your 5-area, Iowa sold 35,300 negotiated. Another good pull for them. They are selling more cattle in Iowa negotiated than what they typically do. And everybody says to get paid for those good cattle, you got to be selling them on some type of a formula. Best cattle in the world are in Iowa. They're selling more of them negotiated cash. Nebraska sells 19,300 negotiated cash, and a good portion of them were heading to Kansas for slaughter. Kansas only sells 5,100. They would rather buy more cattle in Nebraska in a negotiated manner and haul them all the way to Kansas plants rather than push the market in Kansas, and they only buy 5,100. Texas sells 5,700 is all last week, negotiated cash. Box beef cutout values come out stronger to start the week with choice cuts up 249 at 313.01, selects up 270 at 277. Your slaughter 117,000, kind of a disappointing day on Monday to start the week. That's 3,000 less than the previous week, 7,000 less than the same week a year ago. Talk about what else is going on. Western Video Market's big video sale is today. Now, if you guys in the central part of the country and you're watching this a little bit later in the morning, don't worry, it doesn't start till 11 o'clock Central. That's 9 o'clock Pacific. Here today on Tuesday, coming to you from Silver Legacy Casino and Resort there in Reno, Nevada. But they've got a really impressive offering, close to 150 lots to sell. In the morning, they will be selling weaned calves and yearlings. And then in the afternoon, they will be selling their replacement stock. They've got 16 loads of bred heifers. You won't find them any better. They've got a lot of bred cows, a few deals of pairs, and then a couple of lots of lambs there to finish up the day. But don't forget about that. You can check it out at wvmcattle.com or just go to DVAuction.com and select Western Video Market Sale. And you can view and bid that sale right there. Let's talk about your feeder cattle market to start the week. Your real-time index from DVAuction, it's a 7-day moving average running from 7 to 899 pounds on steers up through your middle 12 states, just like your CME Cash Feeder Cattle Index. But it's the markets that we cover more than what the Feeder Cattle Index pulls together. But it's 261.37 late Monday. That was up $2.80. Wow, big gains. CME Cash Feeder Cattle Index will see big gains when it comes out the next time, but it's always running behind. The latest available is 257.13. Talk about your big sales, and we had high volume commodity sales, guys, ones that react most to the futures. Now we start seeing some more big sales come out this week. We're going to see more big sales up in the Northern Plains and in the Midwest that run more off just farmer feeder and stocker demand there. But Oklahoma National Stockyards in Oklahoma City had 10,000 head. A year ago they had 12,300 head. There's fewer cattle around, guys. Feeder steers were $2 to $3 higher, but 7 and 8 weight feeder steers and heifers $5 to $10 higher. Calves $5 to $10 higher, and spots as much as $15 higher. Joplin Regional Stockyards had a big sale, 9,600. It's nothing for them, but it's still a big movement, especially when coming up just a couple days here on Thursday, they're going to be having a value-added special, expecting over 5,000 head for it, and they'll all be long-time weaned and vaccinated, and be selling in bigger groups, more uniform type groups there. Be this Thursday, guys. Check that sale out, and then as soon as the value-added special is over on Thursday, they're going to be having a primetime video sale, and they've got over 100 loads on it. So moving a lot of cattle at Joplin Regional Stockyards. You can view all their sales on DVAuction.com. Check them out, guys. The big sale on Monday with 9,600. The feeders were fairly uneven, but mostly lower on bigger feeders. And we saw that probably as a result of your futures there. As I said, it sticks pretty close to the futures sometimes. But your stockers were up to $25 higher. Wow. Joplin Regional Stockyards was your NationalBeefWire stick-out sale of the day. Check out these best tested weight groups, which was nearly all of them. This is the market in the lower Midwest, guys. 584 head of 4-weight steers in Joplin, average 465 at 346.67. 998 head of the 5-weight steers, average 554 at 307.88. 1,164 head of the 6-weight steers at Carthage, Missouri, at Joplin Regional Stockyards, average 639. The weighted average price of $282.65. 1,053 head of 7-weight steers in Joplin, average 742. Weighted average price $261.53. And 1,159 head of 8-weight steers at JRS averaged $849, weighted average price $249.99 on all of them. Averaging right at 8.5, guys. That's impressive. 764 head of 9-weight steers, averaged $965 at $234.43. Look at some heifer weight groups. 675 head of 4-weight heifers, averaged $459 at $295.39. 1,149 head of 5-weight heifers, a lot of them, averaged $553, weighted average price $270.36 on all of them. Good, bad, and ugly. 479 head of 6-weight heifers, averaged $635 at $252.37. 411 head of 7-weight heifers, averaged $746 at $241.24. And 391 head of 8-weight heifers, averaged $846 at $228.64. Joplin Regional Stockyards, Carthage, Missouri. To give you some other individual quotes from all around, how about some heifers at Sioux Falls Regional Livestock in Worthing, South Dakota? These are feeder heifers, 63 of them, weighed 607 and bring 294. Wasn't very long ago. That would have been really impressive on some steers, guys. How about Oberlin Livestock Auction in Oberlin, Kansas? 93 steers, weighed 871 and bring 266. But the most impressive quote that I saw anywhere on Monday, your Macrocin, no BS, top quote for the day, come out of Faith, South Dakota at Faith Livestock Auction. It was 76 fancy steer calves. They weighed 501 pounds and bring $374.50. That's your feeder flash for Tuesday.